What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to be ranking every division, or male division in the UFC at least, based on how good the championship pool slash title picture is for these 8 male divisions. I'm not including the women's because I'll rank the women's for you right now. Flyweight, women's flyweight's the best. Women's bantamweight's the second best just because of Kayla versus Nunes, and then strawweight's the worst because Weili's gone, so who cares. So there you go, women's divisions ranked there, then and there. But we got the 2 male title fights taking place this weekend, and we got other relevant fights coming up in those 2 divisions that you see on the thumbnail. Obviously, we just had Carlos Solberg win a fight, and we've got another light heavyweight contender fight this weekend. So certain divisions have a really relevant title picture right now, or a lot being figured out. We even got Rakic Mezarkanov in a couple of weeks as well. And then some divisions have fuck all going on, such as lightweight that has like 2 ranked fights booked, and until like last week had none. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. We're going to rank them starting at 8, go all the way up to 1. You guys let me know in the comments. Again, this is personal preference, so please don't attack me like my opinion is wrong. But if you guys share your opinions and they're different to mine, yours are wrong. But like, it's personal preference for me. So my opinions cannot be criticized. But if you come up with some bullshit text like heavyweight's number 2, I will delete your comment and call you retarded. So anyway, that's left dictatorship MMA over here. That's what we're doing. Only allowing propaganda that I support, only allowing opinions that I agree with on this channel. Anyway, let's get underway. Like and subscribe, follow my Twitter, Left Lane MMA, all that. And yeah, let's get started. So, the worst division right now is heavyweight. Again, this is not talking about like the entire division, like unranked everything, but even if it was, this wouldn't change. So, when we get like a little bit up the list, you might be like, oh, lightweight's better than flyweight or something like that. And I would say, as a whole division, I agree, but my personal preference might be for flyweight to be better than lightweight. But heavyweight, in terms of title picture, in terms of everything, is just the worst in all aspects. And it's not even like a case where the entire division's title picture can be carried by one really intriguing fight. Because, like, as much as Jon Jones is yapping on Twitter saying he wants to come back for the White House card, if Tom Aspinall goes out there and colds Cyril Gane in a minute, do we really think Jon Jones is saying, I want my desire to fight on the White House card overrides my fucking fear of Tom Aspinall that caused me to duck him for the last 2 years? Like, we just know that ain't happening. So if Tom goes out there and struggles with Cyril Gane and fails takedowns and gets lit up on the feet a bit and scrapes a decision, which I just don't possibly see how that's going to happen. But if that is the reality, then I'm sure Jon Jones will come back. And then I think we have a somewhat interesting title fight. But then that's almost like, oh, but Jones is just going to win and then leave again. And that's almost worse. So yeah, we kind of just, like, this is heavyweight. It's just Aspinall killing a bunch of people. And we all live in the world where he would kill Jon Jones if he fought him. But we're not going to see that fight. So that's why I have Jon Jones in the corner of the screen. Because he's watching from the sidelines, that's what he's going to do. Willingly just gave up his belt, and then like a little bit later realized that no one cared about him anymore. All the attention was gone, and said, I want my attention back, please pay attention to me, please give me relevance, and then had a hissy fit and is asking to be on the White House card. But apart from Jon Jones as a possibility, like, Cyril Gane is coming up. That's like the only fucking, there's like Cyril Gane and Jailton Almeida are the only 2 people in Aspinall's like sights that are realistic that he hasn't fought, right? He's already killed Pavlovich. He beat Volkov, even though I do think Volkov would give him a tougher fight in a rematch. He's beat Pavlovich. He's beat Tybura. He's beat Spivak. He's trains with Ante Deliha. So that, as much as like it on paper might be somewhat intriguing, if Deliha goes out there and kills Waldo Cortez Acosta in a minute, then we could be like, oh, Deliha's a problem. But like, I think Aspinall knows that he would fucking kill Deliha, which is why he's fine with training with him. I don't think Aspinall is going to train with a heavyweight that he thinks is like a 50-50 competitive fight with him. Unless he actually thinks they would beat him, in which case he's like, stop them from fighting me beforehand. But yeah, I just don't think heavyweight is a particularly compelling division. Like, I'm not overly looking forward to... Like, I'm looking forward to multiple prelim fights on this card over the main event. I'm looking forward to Jose Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood more than the main event. I'm looking forward to Ludovic Klein versus Mateusz Rambetsky more than the main event. I'm like looking forward to fucking Ikram versus Yun Young Park as much as the main event. It's on the main card, but like I'm more excited for Rakic Mirzakhanov than this. I'm honestly, for the humor of it, I'm more excited for Hamdi Abdul-Wahab versus Chris Barnett. Like I just don't really care about this fight. Like I'll watch it. I'm not gonna not watch it, but like, am I gonna be hyped and fucking on the edge of my seat for it? Like not really. And that's what you want for title fights in divisions. Anyway, and then yeah, Volkov Almeida on the same card as a number one contender fight. If Volkov wins, it's just like, am I supposed to convince myself that it's going to look a whole lot? It might look a little bit different, but am I going to convince myself that Volkov's just have made these drastic improvements to not get subbed in the first round? Like, probably not. And then if Almeida wins, if he goes out there and subs Volkov in a round, you could say that's interesting, but apart from that, there's just nothing else. So it's just going to turn into Aspinall rematches, just killing people in a minute on UK cards probably, because once it gets out of this, like once it gets past Garn and maybe Almeida, he's not going to be big enough to headline like mainstay pay-per-views. I know they're not charging for them anymore, but like they're not going to be trying to build him up as some massive star. They're just going to have him killing people on UK cards. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, the light heavyweight division. I should say headlined or championed by Magomed Ankalaev, who is defending his belt this weekend against against Alex Pereira. On the same card, we got Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree. We just had Carlos Olberg get a win, and those names that I just listed are really the only ones that are even close. Like Reyes is firmly out of the picture. Jamal Hill is not even fucking relevant. Like, is Blachowicz, like, the winner of Blachowicz Guskov and the winner of Rakic Mirzakhanov, if it's Mirzakhanov, I guess, he already has he's got a win over, a few of these guys already. He's got a win over Rakic already. He's got a win over some of these other dudes already. So, is it overly intriguing? No. Also, the fact that it's just headlined by, like, the difference is, I'm pretty confident that Magomed Ankalaev is going to win most of these fights, and I wouldn't pick anyone confidently to beat him right now. I think the same about Ilya. But the difference between Ilya and Ankalaev is I'm down to watch Ilya fight, even if I think he's going to be a minus 400 favourite over everyone and the fight's going to be uncompetitive, because I think he's going to kill him. Whereas I think Ankalaev is going to fucking range strike them and be boring. And people are going to glaze him and act like he's funny and has a personality. And I'm speaking to fucking Kenny and Bedtime, and even Lucas, I guess, is hopping on this big Ank train. I was like, dude, he's the most bland fucking human I've ever seen. But regardless of that, because I already know someone's just going to comment some bullshit, like, dude, stop trying to convince me that I'm supposed to enjoy Ankalaev as a champion. Like, it's just not. Like, I'm not. It's not even because he's Dagestani, bro. Like, Leonid was not Dagestani. He was fucking awful. Adesanya, not Dagestani. He's fucking awful. Like, there's so many champions that are just, like, John Jones. I know I've just listed off 3 black guys. That's not it. Let me think. Hang on. Who's a non-Dagestani, non-black champion that I didn't like? Fuck. It's actually harder to come up with than you think. Jeez. Not Aljo. Not. Like. Huh. What? Who's the last... Who's the last non-black, non-Dagestani champion that's been really bad? There's probably an obvious one that I'm missing. But I can't think of it. But regardless, I'm sure there's one of them. But Ankalaev, yeah, I just don't enjoy him as a champion, and his fights, I'm not, like, apart from Yuri fighting for the belt, because Yuri will make anyone fun. And I'm not saying Ankalaev is like Movzar. Like, I'm not saying Ankalaev is fucking Bilal. Like, he has some finishing potential against Cans or No Chin, Johnny Walker. But, like, I don't know, what am I getting hyped for Ankalaev versus Khalil or Ankalaev versus Olberg? Like, it'll be competitive, it'll be high level, but, like, am I particularly hyped up about it? Like, not really. So yeah, I don't know, the winner, if Pereira wins this weekend, just like, low-key, game's back, you know, we're on. But he'll probably just fight, like, one more time maybe and then move up to heavyweight anyway, so we'll see. I didn't bring up, like, the winner of this, like, main event this weekend as in the heavyweight conversation, just because we're trying to stick to the division, or unless it's, like, welterweight where Islam is confirmed to be moving up. But yeah, I'm not particularly thrilled or enthralled, you could say, with light heavyweight. You know, the best case scenario is Yuri wins the belt and we get Yuri versus Bogdan Guskov for a belt. Other than that, there's no fight that I'm really hyped up about. Like any Yuri fight really, and then Bogdan versus Yuri particularly is my number one fight that I want to see at light heavyweight. Anyway, let's move on. Bantamweight division up next. The other men's title fight taking place, or just the other title fight taking place this weekend, I should say. I like Merab as a champion. Like, I'm not upset. Like, would Jan or someone be a better champion? Yeah, but like in terms of activity and not that boring fights, I don't let Guru propaganda tell you that Merab's fight with O'Malley, the most recent one, was boring. The Umar fight was incredibly fun. The first O'Malley fight was like, but also fucking O'Malley backed up like the whole time. If you make Merab scrap and actually bring it to him, he will throw him with you. Like, he doesn't just like repeat. I know he shoots a bunch, but like, he will strike and he will just be like frantic, and that's kind of what makes him fun, is just how much he's doing in there. So you're constantly like watching something. There's never any just like Izzy or Leon Edwards just point fighting at range, and there's never any like Mobza where it's just pure holding, I guess, at times, or like some of these other like wrestling heavy guys. So I enjoy Merab as a champion, but it does have to be said, he's got to win. He's got 2 wins over O'Malley, win over Umar, win over Jan, you know, win over fucking Cejudo. Like, he's just beaten most of these guys. So it's like Corey this weekend. If Mario can get past Umar, like, you do that, I guess. Other than that, it's like a Jan rematch or an Umar rematch. And it's like, am I going to get hyped up about a division full of rematches, even though I don't mind the champion? Like, I'm just not. Also, back when I said before Dagestani or Black champion that was bad, non-Dagestani or Black champion that was bad, someone will say Bilal. I group Bilal in with the same bunch, you know. I know they don't like him, clearly, because they were rooting for JDM to whoop his ass. But, you know, same thing, different shape, you know. It's like sausages versus meatballs, you know, like fucking, you're one in the same, they're similar, you know. Mix it up. But, regardless, Bantamweight, not, like, sensational division. Like, I think they're doing O'Malley versus Song Yadong. If Song wins, like, I actually think he's an interesting matchup for Merab. But yeah, it's not like there's any massive high profile matchups that you're like, that could headline on its own, or that is like a generational fight for this division. Like, we've seen them already with the Umar and the Jan, I guess, fight. Maybe a Jan rematch would be cool, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, middleweight division. Look, after Hamzat's performance against DDP, am I wrong in saying this just decreased hype at middleweight? Like, everyone for ages was like, middleweight's like a top 3 division in the sport right now, it's so good. And now it just feels kind of mid. Like, first of all, the Hamzat DDP fight was shit. It was just not an entertaining fight, right? And since then, you know, Mavov's beat Baralio by close decision. Looked impressive, you know, stuffed the takedowns. But as much as I like Mavov and I think he's underrated, I don't think anyone's looking at Mavov as like, yeah, that's the guy to beat Hamzat. And it's just like, it's a difference between like Ilya's like a killer and you're like, Ilya, like, oh, who beats Ilya? But that's almost the thing of it. It's like, who beats Ilya? Like, he's just going to kill everyone. With this, it's like, who beats Hamzat? He's just going to take down and fucking lay on people. And if they give up opportunities, he'll sub them. Like, that's really what it is with Hamzat. Like, people, and maybe he proves that was like the one time he's going to look like that. But in my opinion, it's just like, if you don't give him the opportunity to sub you, he can't. Like, that's not to say he can't, but like, to me, his submission wins. Whittaker gave him the opportunity. Whittaker shat the bed and just gave up position and just kind of let himself get steamrolled almost. But like, Drickus was just like, he couldn't do much about himself getting taken down, but he was good enough to, well, I guess defensively sound enough to just keep Hamzat away from submissions. Usman did the same thing, Burns did the same thing. Like, Holland and Whittaker and these kind of guys get sort of ragdolled and steamrolled and they get subbed. But like, I think if you see these guys who are just kind of got a bit more will to them, and don't get flustered as much, like, they'll just grind it out and then Hamzat will just hold them to a decision. So like, I think we're just going to see a bunch of Hamzat decisions now. Like, maybe he goes out and subs a Mavov, but these high level grapplers who are the same size as him, I know Whittaker is good, but I've been saying Whittaker is kind of washed and he's also very susceptible to getting run over. And we saw that in that fight. And we even saw it where he looked kind of just mid against RDR and let himself get backed up a bunch. But like, am I am I like on the edge of my seat for Khamzat RDR or Khamzat Amavov or Khamzat Fluffy? Like, all of them I think will be semi-competitive, like 49, 46-ish type of fights. But I'm not going to pick any of them to beat him, and I'm also not going to pick any of them to be like wars and crazy fights. Like, I know RDR's a goofball and he's fun, but like, maybe he just gives up position and gets subbed. I don't know. So maybe, but there's a difference between like Khamzat taking down and submitting people where you kind of just know that's his thing. Where it's like, with his Ilya, you know he's gonna just go out there and try and knock you the fuck out and probably do so. But to me, knowing someone's gonna knock someone out is more entertaining or more exciting or engaging than knowing someone's just going to double leg them and probably hold them for a round and sub them in the second. Like, I don't know if I'm wording this well. And there's going to make... I already know that bro, just go watch kickboxing comments are going to fucking be here. And again, I'm not opposed to grappling, but I want it to be fun, and that DDP fight was just not fun, and I think that's what we're going to get out of Khamzat moving forward. So, like, to me, it's like the fact that he made it to the fight means that's the best he's going to be. And the best he's going to be is not subbing Dricus. So maybe Dricus is that much better than everyone else below him, and that means everyone else is getting subbed. We'll see what happens. But I guess there's a Costa fight there, which just like, I hope they don't make that, but like knowing the UFC, they will. Other guys like Strickland, Izzy, like, are any of these dudes compelling? Like, no. Is the Baralio fight compelling? Like, not particularly. Like, I don't know. Just middleweight, I'd say, if you talked to me before the fight, and I'm like, oh, you got DDP RDR as a title fight, or DDP Fluffy, or DDP any of these guys, Amavov, any combination of this, DDP fucking Costa, even if he gets another win or two, like, there's fun fights and there's goofy shit with his Khamzat. It's no longer like goofy anymore. It's just like, yeah, fucking what is this? So anyway, let's move on. Next up, lightweight division. I know I just said like, oh, I know the results of all Ilya's fights, but I'm still looking forward to them. You know, it's still fun. But there's just not a lot of matchups. Like, it's the title picture is literally just Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. Paddy is like the most like casually appealing fight, but we all know how the fuck that goes. But yeah, you know, I'm excited to watch it. Gaethje, I'm just like fun. Again, we know he's just gonna kill him, and Gaethje doesn't deserve a title shot. And then Arman's about to fight Dan Hooker in like a month or something, like a month and a half. And that's the competitive fight. So like, there's only really one that I'm like, I can't confidently predict the result of this. And I'm like, I'm excited for all of them because I'm excited for Ilya. And I guess you could say like, if Gamrot beats Charles, he's probably a win away. But it's just kind of weird. It's just this trio. Like, I know Holloway's there. And again, if we're ranking the division as a whole, lightweight is fucking great. Like, I love lightweight. You know, the unranked portion of light. I would rather watch, like, the unranked. If you put the top 15 unranked lightweights in a bracket, or the top 16, champion and 15 others, I would watch that every day of the week over any heavyweight fight. Except Jones Aspinall. Like, I don't think you can come up with a heavyweight fight that I would rather watch than, like, Esteban Ribovic versus, like, Manuel Torres. Or, like, Mateusz Rebecki. Or something like, any combination of these kind of dudes outside the rankings, you know? So, like, lightweight below, like, Benny BSD is sick fight, but, like, not quite in the title picture right now. So, like, yeah, as an immediate title picture, like, the only lightweight fights we're really going to be seeing in the next year is Ilya Paddy, Ilya Gaethje, Ilya Arman. And I don't think any of those guys beat Ilya to where there's like there's a different, really intriguing matchup we could see for a belt if one of these guys gets it. Like, he's killed Charles already, he's killed Max, and that was kind of the thing, like, he's, moving up to lightweight, you know, fresh matchups, it won't feel like at featherweight, it really just felt like we're lining guys up for him to just kill. Like, I don't think anyone would have picked a single featherweight with any level of confidence to beat him. But at lightweight now, it's like, okay, well, Max has moved up, and Max has then since beat Dustin, and has wins over Dustin and Gaethje. So it almost vicariously just feels like Ilya has beaten Gaethje via beating Max. Like, I know that's dumb, but is anyone really going to tell me Gaethje beats Ilya? And yeah, it's just Paddy is like the only guy that hasn't actually lost in the UFC. But I think we all know that he would get killed by Ilya. So yeah, I don't know. Lightweight, it's fun, it's intriguing, I guess. It's Ilya, so it's just because the champion is fun, and so, you know, even if the fights aren't competitive, they're going to end well. as opposed to like a light heavyweight or a middleweight. But still, I do like lightweight, but I can't tell you I'm like on the edge of my seat to watch Ilya versus Gaethje. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, the featherweight division. Now, I was doing some switching and swapping. You know, I had this at number 2 at one point behind what's next on my list. But I moved it down one spot, almost just kind of like punishing the fucking matchmakers, or just like, I'm not really punishing them, they don't give a fuck, but like, just as almost a result of how annoying the matchmakers are being, because every other fucking week, where like, originally it was like a few months ago, before like Movsar Pico was booked, we're like, oh, maybe Movsar will get his shot. There was like, since the Volk Lopez fight, featherweight has been a fucking nightmare in the title picture, because we went from fucking Gene Silver demanding a title shot after Bryce Mitchell. The whole fiasco where both fighters, where Yair beat Pitbull by decision and Gene beat like number 12 ranked Bryce Mitchell, and both demanded a title shot. And then Movsar gets booked, and so we're like, just do Movsar, what the fuck are we doing? And then Movsar gets booked to fight Pico, or rumoured for like May. Like that rumour came all the way back in April, I remember. And then the whole talk turned into like, oh, Guadalajara, Noche pay-per-view. Volk's probably going to be fighting Yair. And that was just like, fuck are we doing here? Like, that's awful. Please don't. And then obviously we booked Lopez Gene. And so we're like, what the fuck is Yair doing? And then Volk said he's not fighting September. He's getting pushed back. So we're like, okay, Volk's December. And then we had Murphy, and then we had Movsar pull out, and we're like, okay, well, they're not going to give Movsar a title shot after pulling out. We get Pico, Murphy, and then 2 weeks later we get, or 3 weeks later we get Gene, Diego, and then, you know, Murphy kills Pico, and it's just like, okay, we have a title fight here. Murphy undefeated in the UFC, or undefeated overall, unbeaten in the UFC. Do him versus Volk, December, makes all the sense in the world. And now we're here, but then we're like, oh, we might have to just wait just in case Gene kills Diego and doesn't take any damage. The opposite happens. Gene loses to Diego, takes a bunch of damage. No one's thinking they're going to do Diego, so we're like, okay, it's Volk Murphy, December. And it's like, Movsar Murphy, wouldn't really care if either of them got it. And now we're hearing spanner in the works, it's not Murphy. And I'm like, okay, well, are they doing Diego 2, which is awful. Not awful as in, like, I hate the fight, but it just makes no sense. Like, he just lost to him one fight ago. Are we doing Yair 2, which makes even less sense? Or are we maybe doing Movsar, in which case, still kind of doesn't make sense because he just pulled out and we treated Arman the same way for pulling out of a fight. Slightly different circumstances, fight day almost, but still. And so it's like, well, what the fuck? Who's getting a title shot then? And now it's just goofy. And now we're hearing, oh, there's a card in February that in Sydney that Volk might headline, because obviously who the fuck else is going to headline, because you can't wait until after JDM Islam and bank on that, because if it backfire, if you book Volk for December and then you hope that JDM beats Islam in November, 3 months before February, and then Volk's 2 months before, let's say both of them lose, then you've just booked a pay-per-view with no one to headline. So then you got to pull some bullshit of like, you put a fucking Hums Up pay-per-view there or some, or an Aspinall pay-per-view there or some shit. So the way they've just managed featherweight is so goofy. Like, I know in the meantime, like, Aljo beat Ortega. He's going to be out for a minute. Aljo's out for a minute with that elbow injury. But it's just a mess. And it's like, it should be really easy to organize. It should just be Volk versus either Murphy or Movsar. Whoever doesn't get that fight, if Murphy doesn't get that fight, he should just wait. If Movsar doesn't get that fight, he should fight like fucking Yair. You do Lopez versus Gene Silver or Lopez versus Yair, and then do Allen versus like what you should do is you should do Volk Murphy. Movsar can just wait on his ass. You do Allen versus Aljo, and you do Diego versus Yair. But we're gonna get some fuckery of like Volk Yair 2, Diego Movsar 2, Allen Murphy. Like, they're gonna just do some bullshit. So featherweight's low-key pissing me off. But if you just look at the actual title picture itself, or watch like Zalal, it'll be like Zalal versus Aljo or some shit, or like Zalal versus Allen. Hopefully we're getting Allen soon. Allen Yair makes sense too. But regardless, like in my opinion, what actually makes sense is Allen Yair Winner of that would be like 1 or 2 away. Diego versus Aljo, winner gets a title shot after Volk versus the Murphy slash Movzar versus Volk fight. Like, that would be what makes sense if I've worded that correctly. And then we'll get Volk either in December, ideally, but then can you bank on... If we're doing Volk in December and hoping for him to headline Australia, you have to do the Murphy fight. Because I think he's got a better chance of beating Murphy than Movzar. It's either Murphy or Movzar. You cannot do Volk versus Lopez and expect him to headline 2 months later, because he's going to take damage against Lopez. He ain't taking that much damage against Movzar. Or, the difference is, like, Movzar and Murphy, neither of them are really going to do much damage to him. Movzar might beat him. Murphy, probably, I struggle to see a world where Murphy wins that fight. So, like, the best, I guess you just would do Volk, Murphy, December, and then just hope he wins and takes no damage, and then fights 2 months later. Because Volk's been hella inactive recently. Through no fault of his own. It's just booking. It's like he ends up in this weird scenario where if you run through every card of the year, it's like he kind of couldn't have been on here. Like, unless they had to do a pay-per-view in September. They had to just tank it and just do an Australia. I don't understand, again, why they didn't just do an Australia pay-per-view in September instead of that Perth fight night. Why could that not have just been a pay-per-view and you just do Volk versus Movzar? Or just do Volk versus fucking Yair if we have to, just to get him in there, because then that February turnaround is doable. And then you can do Ilya in December and Van Pantoja as the co-main. Like, they muddled this whole shit up. There were so many ways you could have done it, and they figured out the worst possible way to do it. So I don't know what the fuck we're gonna get now, because it just seemed like the clearest booking ever. It was like, alright, November's gonna be, like, I knew this in like fucking July. I was like, alright, October's Abu Dhabi's Ankalaev Pereira. Sorry, October's Ankalaev Pereira. Abu Dhabi's Garn Aspinall. November's going to be Islam JDM and then Whaley Shevchenko. December's going to be Volk in the main, Pantoja in the co-main. And then they're going to open up the new TV deal with Ilya. I was like so confident that's what it was going to be. Like, you could just predict the future. And the UFC just was like, nah, let's just do some shit that doesn't make any sense. So, featherweight's kind of pissing me off. But in terms of the actual division itself, I like it for Volk, because now that Ilya's gone, and now that Gene isn't looking like a fucking Terminator that's just going to kill everyone, I like Volk's chances to win a couple fights. And also with how he looked against Lopez, I'm like, and then how Lopez just looked against Gene, I'm like, yo, Volk's like low-key fucking goated. Like, how did he look that good against Lopez? So there is a dread that Movzar wins the belt, but we're going to not live in that world. And we're going to live in the world where he gets free title defenses and good legacy. Or not free title, but like he continues to build his legacy. You know, beats Murphy, beats Movzar, and then he's got a second title reign. So yeah, anyway, let's move on. Flyweight division. Now, people are going to be like, bro, you're trying to be different, bro. Flyweight sucks, dude. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't. Because first of all, you got a great champion in Pantoja. In my opinion, in terms of like the fights that we know are next in each division, like, or like the possible fights that we know are next, or like the main one, we know that Pantoja Van is next, and we know that is a fucking dope fight, and like probably like my third most anticipated fight or second most anticipated fight this year. I'm like as excited for Pantoja Van as I am for JDM Islam, and like it's those two, 1 and 2. And then it's like Yuri Khalil and like Prates Leon. Honestly, Prates Leon is 3 just because we all love watching CP. We're all excited to watch CP in November. Jesus Christ. Like, I know the CP... Okay, that didn't enter my mind. But still, we will be doing that. But Van, Pantoja is dope. Pantoja's a sick champion. If Van wins the belt, as much as I would hate it for Pantoja, I love Van too. Van's been my boy since the start. We know this. And yeah, Van's unlimited fresh matchups because he's only in the top of the division. He's only beat Roval. So you've got Van. You've got a rematch immediately, which you would do because Pantoja deserves it. You've got a Moreno fight. You've got a Cap fight. You've got a fucking Krykara France fight. You know, you've got a Tatsuro Taira fight. But just for Pantoja, because he has got a few... people will say, oh, but you hated on Bantamweight because Merab's beat everyone. But so's Pantoja. And it's like, well, yes, but there's still guys that Pantoja hasn't beat. He hasn't beat, and there's the difference is there's guys Merab's hasn't beat, but none of them are intriguing. Like no one's like, well, not intriguing, but none of them are like oh my god, this guy might beat him, or this is like a really cool matchup. Like Sandhagen's cool, Song Yadong's cool, Patchy Mix is cool, but none of them are like blow your socks off. Van vs Pantoja's dope. Pantoja vs Tyra's dope as well. Hasn't fought him. You've got Kyoji coming over as well. That's a possibility there. I know he's fought him, but a Cap rematch is still fresh because it's not recent that he fought him. Whereas all of Merab's wins over people are recent-ish. Like within the last 2 years, 2.5 years. You've got Temerov. You've got Elmabayev there. Again, not all of these are like crazy intriguing. You know, you can sacrifice Albazi just to get Pantoja another free title defense. And Pantoja said he doesn't really care to move up. Now, would him and Merab be sick if he did? Yes. But also, I'm kind of down to just see this dude rack up like 12 title defenses and just become the GOAT. Because if he beats Van, and I know we talk about these these turning point matchups where like, if you get past this guy, it's kind of just free legacy to get like divisional GOAT status almost, or just rack up a bunch of defenses. If Pantoja gets past Van, I don't think Tyra beats him. So that's Van's a 5th defense. Tyra would be a 6th. And then Kyoji 7, you know, and then it's just like no one's beating him. So unless he just gets washed. So like it's just 3 defenses until he just chooses to retire or if he wants to move up. So I love flyweight. Flyweight's really cool. I'd say my second favorite division in the sport right now, just regardless. Second or third overall, but second for title picture. Anyway, let's move on to the number 1. Next up, welterweight division. This is the best title picture in the sport right now by a mile. By a mile. Like, everyone's fresh, because JDM hasn't beaten anyone in the top 10 other than Bilal. Because he got a title shot off Burns, who's now shit. You know, or washed. So, again, this isn't JDM hate. I'm just saying, like, it's good for the division. It's fresh matchups. And you've like the older guys in the division are mostly on their way out. But like, look at this. Like JDM leading off a Brady matchup. He's about to fight Islam. That's sick. And also looking at what the matchups that have actually happened in the division, excluding the title fight, right? Like Bilal's fought Brady. Bilal's fought Leon. Bilal's fought no one else in the top 10. Leon's fought Usman. Leon's fought Bilal. Leon's fought Brady, but Leon's not in the title picture. But it's like Usman's fought not many of them because Usman's defenses are all pretty much gone now. Like Brady's just really fought Leon, Burns, and Bilal. Gary's fought Shavkat and Prates, but like Morales hasn't fought anyone in the top 10. Buckley hasn't fought anyone in the top 10 other than Usman. Prates hasn't fought anyone in the top 10 other than Gary. JDM's only fought Bilal in the entire top 10. Islam's fought none of them, of course. So it's just intriguing. It's like no matter who gets the belt, unless it like Usman getting the belt somehow would just feel goofy and weird. But like like Shavkat's only fought Gary, and in the top 10, Shavkat's only fought Gary, which is kind of crazy to say. So all these matchups are intriguing. JDM Shavkat, JDM Brady, JDM Gary, JDM Prates, even fucking JDM Usman, Islam versus all these guys is fun as well. So like welterweight is just dope. Like it's just so fun. The unranked portion of welterweight is kind of dead. Like Neil Magny's like still the king of unranked welterweights in 2025 somehow. You know, there's not really any prospects on the come up that I think are like good, particularly. Like you got Dulatov, he's fun, I guess. Jacoby Smith's fucking mid, literally just black Bo Nickel. And Bedtime hates Bo Nickel but glazes Jacoby Smith. It's the same fucking fighter. It's the same fighter. He comes in, gets a highlight reel KO in his first fight, and then his next fight after that, it's just I don't fucking Jamie Pickett fight, like whatever. But it's like you come in, KO Val Woodburn, just like come in KO Preston Parsons in like a minute, just like he came in KO'd Val Woodburn. Next fight, step up. What's his name? Nico Price looks mid against Cody Bundy. Do you want to know what comes after that? A range kickboxing match against Paul Craig, aka a fucking range kickboxing match against like Neil Magny, or like someone even lower than that, honestly. So I don't know. That's just a side point. Jacoby Smith is not impressive to me. But regardless, we'll see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But yeah, welterweight, unranked portion, not great. But yeah, title picture, dope. Morales, Prates, JDM, Shavkat, Brady, Usman even still, Buckley, Islam. Islam moving up makes it really cool as well. Just because, yeah, if he gets the belt, some matchups there are cool. It's just, it would be kind of weird if he just moves up and then retires, like wins, and then like wins with like one more fight. I could really see Islam moving up. They give Usman a fucking undeserved ass title shot because Islam ain't trying to fight Sean Brady or Shavkat Rakhmonov. They'll give him Usman. They'll be like, who's got a name, who adds to my legacy, and then who is kind of low risk-ish. Like, not that Usman couldn't beat him, but like, if he's looking at who's, like, if he, like, do you think Islam's gonna be like, yeah, looking at these guys, I've just beat JDM for the belt in a closest decision. Do I want Shavkat? No. Do I want Brady? Fuck no. Do I want Gary? No. Yeah, let me take Usman. Watch Islam, if he wins, move up, fight Usman, and then just leave. I could really see that happening. But other than that, welterweight is really cool. Anyway, let me know in the comments, what is your ranking? Do you agree with most of my placements? Yeah, like and subscribe, all that shit. I am running out of video ideas. Like, I was sitting in my room for like a good 10 minutes just thinking, like, what's a video I can do? I was scrolling back through my old videos. I sorted my videos by popular and was going back through some of them and being like, which of these can I redo? So I'm running out of videos, so give me some content ideas. Give me some content ideas. Otherwise, I'm fucking dropping a custom shorts tier list for the 3rd time. But anyway, goodbye. Otherwise, I'm dropping a haircuts tier list, bro. Get out of here. Anyway, see ya.